Welcome back to another episode of Real Estate Stories with Ben Slater. Ben, what are we talking about today?
Hey Pete, great to see you, great to be back. We're going to discuss the latest sale, which was 75 South Glenwood Avenue in Clifton Heights, PA. Sold for $265. Actually had multiple offers. But in this video I want to really focus not so much on the success of the sale, but the journey of my clients and their goal to move from Clifton Heights down to Douglasville, Georgia, after being in their home for 30 years, and just some of the challenges that represented and some of the preparation that's required when you do want to buy and sell at the same time.
Awesome. Well, let's have it.
Yeah, so like I said, they're terrific people that I've known for 12 years. I actually helped their daughter buy an investment property, and they're both retired now, so they're on fixed income. They do have a small pension and Social Security, but as viewers may or may not know, when you want to purchase a house, you have to get qualified for a mortgage if you're not paying cash. And the mortgage company is going to make sure that you have the income to cover those payments. So if you're not working, you're on fixed income, that's going to hurt a little bit what you can afford. And they also had a primary mortgage on their original house that they had been in. Now they owed less than what it was worth, but it was still a payment of about, I think, $800 a month. So basically you have four options. If someone comes to me and says, hey, I have a house that I live in, I want to sell this house, I want to buy a new house, there's four options that I want to talk about.
Okay, great. So what's the first one? What do we got?
So obviously, if you're very wealthy, you can always just buy a house first and then sell your house later. And that's, frankly, as a realtor, that's the cleanest way to do it. That's the easiest way to do it. 90% of people can't do that. So that option is usually out. But if you do have the money and the means, then obviously you have the risk tolerance to be able to say, hey, what if my house doesn't sell for a while? You have to juggle those two payments. Or obviously if you're paying cash, you have to juggle the expenses. In any case, that's option number one, which was ruled out in this case. Option number two, you sell your house first and coordinate some sort of temporary place to live, either with relatives, short-term rental. Get that cash in your pocket, get that mortgage off your balance sheet so you can qualify for the new mortgage. That's number two. Number three is what's called a contingency sale, which I have done probably about 7 or 8 in my career. But over the last 3 years, not very many, because it's a very competitive market. And with a contingency sale, you're basically saying to the seller of the house you're trying to buy, I will buy your house, but it's contingent upon me selling my house. So there's a few moving pieces in that, and a lot of times it's hard to get that deal accepted. And the fourth option, which is what we ended up going with, is using a bridge loan. And it was actually really exciting because I actually learned about a new type of bridge loan with this deal. So it's pretty cool.
So what's a new type of bridge loan?
So just to recap, a bridge loan is basically where a lender is going to lend you money to use for the down payment on your new house. So let's say like Pete owns his house for $300,000. It's worth $300,000. He only owes $100,000 on it. Great, he's got $200,000 of equity, but he doesn't have $200,000 in the bank, and he needs about $100,000 to buy his new house. So he can borrow from the bridge loan $100,000 to put that down payment on the house. Then when he sells his house, they get paid off, and everybody's happy. So it's pretty easy peasy for most people. However, with my clients, and what a lot of people don't know, even when you get a bridge loan, you still have to be able to qualify to be able to pay the mortgage on your primary residence, since it's not sold yet, and the payments on the bridge loan. And that value was too high for my buyers to be able to buy. So we had a little bit of a quandary, a little bit of a dilemma, if you will.
So how'd you get through it?
There is a new bridge loan. It was actually called a knock loan, which the realtor in Georgia told me about, and I will get to her in a minute, which is another aspect I want to talk about. But with a bridge loan, the knock bridge loan particularly, they guarantee to buy your house. So for instance, if I listed their house for sale, if for some reason I couldn't sell it, they actually had a contract to buy the house at a certain number. And they not only lent the money for the down payment on the new house, but they use some of that money to make payments on their mortgage on their primary house. So what it does is it cleans the balance sheet for the buyers. So my buyers who are on fixed income now, instead of having that $700 or $800 mortgage payment that they had, that was gone. And they had the cash to put for a new house, so they were ready to go, which was really exciting.
That is exciting. So when they guarantee to buy your house, is it for an amount traditionally lower than what you're asking, so they can profit off it?
And that's where a good agent comes in, and where we had to discuss the options and the market. obviously they don't want to buy your house. The knock lending program prefers to lend money, so the buying a house is a last resort, and it is a number that's lower than market value. So we definitely did our homework and did our research, and I was very confident that we would be able to get 249 for their house, which is where I listed it. And as I said in the beginning, we ended up with 5 offers and got them 265, which was great. So, you know, every scenario has risks, whether you're buying first or selling first or doing a contingency purchase or the bridge loan. They all have their pros and cons and certain risks that you're going to have to be aware of. But yeah, so that's how that works.
Cool. And what were you going to say about the realtor in Georgia?
Yeah, so the other thing I wanted to sort of point out, the 3 main points of this video. Obviously, the first point we talked about is how you can buy and sell at the same time and your different options. The next point is when you're working with a realtor, when you're buying a house that's far away, you need to find a realtor that's an expert in that area. So, for instance, I cover Delaware County, Chester County, Montgomery County, and Philly, which is a pretty broad area, and I'm pretty knowledgeable on all of it. But if I get a client to me that wants to move to Jersey, well, number one, I'm not licensed in Jersey, but number two, I'm not familiar with those neighborhoods. So I have referral agents which I work with, and I send them to them, and they're great agents. Now, I didn't have an agent in Douglasville, Georgia, so it involved a little bit of homework and a little bit of vetting. And you know, we took a couple weeks, and I called a lot of agents. Some didn't answer the phone, some did. The agent I got was super attentive, a lot of experience, very knowledgeable in that Douglasville area where they wanted to go. I liked her right away, and she's actually the one that had the bridge loan with the knock bridge loan that we talked about and recommended it. So she was great, and the 3 of us worked as a team, which is cool.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thanks, Ben. This has been a great story and update, and I'm sure people will be thrilled to work with you when they're ready to buy a new home or to sell their existing home. So this has been another episode of Real Estate Stories with Ben Slater. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Have a great day, Pete.